The first album, Only Built for Cuban Links, it was a personal story. At the show, you were saying at the time it was the only thing you ever knew what you could do, like to hustle, was to hustle. But after all these years, with all the success you've had, how's this album going to differ in terms of content?
Well, number one, this album is going to really have the same content of rap, you know what I mean? Because when you look at the first one, it was always about stories over fat, strong beats. Vintage Wu-Tang sounding beats, you know what I mean? And we all play tag on them. But it's just raw hip-hop to me, you know what I mean? It ain't nothing that I really take as being a heavy load on my chest, because it's like I know how to rhyme like that. You know, I'm always going to be underground, even when I'm super mainstream or whatever people want to call it, because of the success we had. I'm always going to go to the dirt with the rhymes. And that's easy. For me to get back on that style, that's like saying champion gear that I rock all over again. It ain't nothing, B. It's easy.
Now, the first thing that we heard from the album was Criminology Part 2. First one, obviously, is a hip-hop classic, right? So you've decided to do some of the classics re-over, okay? Now, compared to the first, with Ghost, what was the vibe like in the studio? Because both of you have grown as artists over the years. Right. So, you know, what was the vibe like? Was it...
I mean, you know, when we did that, it was like we were just playing around, you know what I mean? Ghost wasn't even there at first when I created it, because some things I like to do, I like to just do out the blue, you know what I mean? And one day I was actually in the studio with one of my young upcoming producers that I'm building, and I was like, yo, I was listening to the sample of the Criminology, the real shit, the shit that we got it from, and I told my engineer, I was like, yo, I need you to loop this up for me. Can you do it? He was like, yeah, I can do it. And I told him to do this part. And next thing you know, he did it, and we had it sounding like almost like the first one. And I just jumped on it. I said, yo, I'm going to go first. And then I hit Ghost with it the next day. And then he did what he had to do. And then next thing you know, we threw it out there. That's just something that just get y'all niggas' mouths watering real quick. It wasn't nothing that we was banking on or we was holding back. It was just something that we did at the moment that we felt was going to be fun to y'all while we bringing the new shit. Of course, I mean, you know, and at the end of the day, I appreciate them kind words, you know what I mean? Because I really feel like I work hard. And I do want to get into that, and I have been, you know, interacting with people in Hollywood, because now I got a little place in California as well, so I'm able to interact with people out there more, and I've been doing my homework, and people been interested. So be on the lookout for that. But the first thing we're going to do, we're going to set it off with a documentary, you know what I mean? I'm going to give y'all a strong documentary of why Ray is Ray, you know what I mean? What made me come with Cuban Links 2, you know what I mean? What brought up the things on Cuban Links 1, like you're gonna go into a journey with me on that one though. So definitely we're getting into the film world. Word up.
Okay. And I want to talk about lyrics in hip hop, because one thing that no one can ever deny from you is that lyrically you've been on another level, right? Now, lyrics, there's always been talk about lyrics not being prominent in hip hop anymore. And with this album, is that something you're trying to remind hip hop, that lyrics is still around, that we can still go hard, and that, you know, these trends, these kind of sort of the sound and beats is not always important as the lyrics? You're going back to the essence of what hip hop is?
Absolutely, fella. You know what it is. It's like I come from that era where you gotta rhyme, cause you know I'm always surrounded by real niggas, like niggas that really don't like bullshit niggas. They don't like bullshit rhymes. They don't like a lot of faggot shit, you know what I mean? So I come from that cloth. And I think forever I'm always going to take my time to write something strong, because I feel like that's important in hip-hop. That's like almost expressing your ability to be the best that you could be, you know what I mean? Other than just making contemporary cosmetic hip-hop. Cosmetic hip-hop is, you know, the shit that, not saying that everybody shit on the radio ain't hot, but it's radio shit, you know what I mean? You know, radio shit is radio shit. I ain't gonna be mad at a nigga if a nigga got something that's radio. I play, that's radio, but when you start coming with it consistently and you over flooding and oversaturating yourself with that and you calling yourself hip hop, I'm not going for it. No disrespect to nobody, but I ain't going for it. That's not hip hop, fam. Hip hop is when you rhyming over raw shit. You know what I mean? Whether you got a hook or you don't got a hook, it makes sense. It's official. Niggas know you still busting your gun with lyrics. You know what I mean? That's my thing. Keep the movies hot, man. Don't make them to where people feel like we getting the same shit all the time.
Okay, you touched on it, and I'll go on to. I was going to go into it later. You're the chef, right? What are the ingredients that make not only a dope MC, but also to keep the longevity that you have had in this game? What are the main ingredients that you need? Because you're the chef.
I say the main ingredients you need, my nigga, is you need years of experience on them blocks, you know what I mean? That's first and foremost. And then the second thing is you gotta know your history of really who are some of the dopest MCs back in the early 80s before us. I mean, take it all the way back to Curtis Blow. Study your history, you know what I mean, and know all of that, like I know all of that. And number 3, just believe in yourself. If you feel like you that nigga, it's like go for it. Be yourself, you know what I mean? If a nigga try to get you to go right and you feel that ain't right, go left. You ain't gotta go right because somebody telling you to go right, or you feel like that may help you. What's gonna help you is your heart, you know what I mean? So always go with your heart, and that's what a nigga gotta be, true to himself. Study your history and get busy on that mic, man. Take it serious.
Staying with it then, the whole learning about hip hop. What if you could pick, not in any order, but what kind of, say, 5 albums or 3 albums would you say as a dummy's guide to somebody to listen, if someone wants to get into hip hop or learn more about the culture? Name your albums that you would say that someone needs to study and they'll know more about hip hop.
It's a lot, man. It's really a lot. You know, for me, it was like, I would say my shit go back to Run DMC, you know, Grandmaster Flash, Crash Crew, Fearless 4, Force MDs. You know what I mean? Words from the Genius album, KRS album, Criminal Minded, Big Daddy Kane, Slick Rick, MC Light, Queen Latifah. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith was killing it back then. You know what I'm saying? Parents just don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, we grow up like, I don't give a fuck. Will hip hop. You know what I mean? The niggas is doing their thing. However they was doing it, man. Cool G Rap. You know what I mean? That's all the shit that I love, B. That when I get in the car, I can listen to that shit. You know what I mean? Dana Dane. You know what I mean? Shit like that, though.